of your wasted on earth, every little past frustration, take all of your so-called problems, better put them in quotations. Say what you need to say, 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 oh, say what you need to say, say what you need to say, say what you need to say. Walking like a one-man army, fighting with the shadows in your head, living out the same old moment, knowing you'd be better off instead. If you could only say what you need to say, 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 say what you need to say. Have no fear for giving in, have no fear for giving over. You better know that in the end it's better to say too much than never to say what you need to say again. Even if the hands are shaking and your faith is broken, even as the eyes are closing, do it with a heart wide open. Yeah, yeah. Say what you need to say, 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 say what you need to, say what you need to, say what you need to say, oh, say what you need to say, 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 say what you need to say. Say the announcements, the announcements.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to everybody online or watching in the archives. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Toronto. My name is Tanis, also known as the Announcement Lady. In your program, if you haven't already noticed, lyrics on one side of the songs we're doing today. Other side is the announcements. A couple of things I need to draw your attention to. Anybody who received the email blast last week, the newsletter, the spiritual economics date listed was incorrect. It said the 23rd. It's actually the 24th, which is this coming Saturday, which is on here, and it's correct. Next Sunday is the annual general meeting for us as a community, and it starts at 1 o'clock. I have mine. I just don't want to put them on. It starts at 1 o'clock. So after service, grab a bite to eat and then come back, and we will go over the business of the center for the past year, vote in some new people for the board, and have a grand old time. So join us for that. So that's all I'm going to tell you. Oh, Carmen's got her hand up. You can register online for the spiritual economics class. And yes, it will be live streamed. So those of you at home, you can join in on Saturday for the day-long class. It'll be awesome. Starting at what time? Starting at 10 a.m. Till 4 or 5? Till 5. You're very welcome. There will be an hour break for lunch. Thank you, Wim. Yes, yes. And the book, the Spiritual Economics book, is in our gift shop. Gift shop, bookstore, whichever you would like to call it. It is there. Go grab a copy. And standing with his copy of it, straight from Hawaii, is our beloved Reverend Jonathan Zenz. Welcome back.
Good morning. How is everyone this morning? Good. It's such a pleasure to be back, mostly. No, I did want to point out that we do have the Spiritual Economics Workshop coming up next Saturday. It was incorrect in the email. It is Saturday the 24th. Full-day workshop. It is going to also be followed up with 2 weeks. On the weekdays, I'll be sending out reminders and points of inspiration in audio messages that will be recorded, and you can listen to it. So that's going to happen for the 2 weeks. For everyone who's participating in the workshop, they will get these daily reminders for 2 weeks. So that's another aspect of this course that I'm going to be teaching. So welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Toronto. It is such a pleasure to have you join us here today. I want to just launch into our first song just to get everybody revved up and going. So I invite you, if you feel compelled to stand and dance and sing with us, please do. The lyrics are on your song sheet. Great song by Eddie Watkins Jr. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. All right. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves me and I love you too. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, in every walk of life. Every walk of life. In every creed and color. In kinship we unite. In honor of the God in each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, Namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. All right. So it's a great way to get the blood pumping this morning, because it is, let's see, it's 11, so it's, I can't do math.
5 something?
It's just after 6 o'clock in the morning for me now, because that's what time it is in Hawaii. And so it is.
Welcome back.
Yes. No, the funny thing is, the plane ride, you know, with the layover and everything is about 12 hours, and I got back, and I really tried very hard to stay awake, but by 8 o'clock last night I was in bed totally sacked out. So it's good. I've had about 12 hours of sleep. Well, not quite 12 hours because I got up at 5. I can't do math this morning. Just forgive me. Welcome to you. I'm going to take a breath. Aloha.
Aloha.
Yes. Interesting. I just said I'm going to take a breath, and then you said aloha. And I don't know if you know this or not. I learned this when I was in Hawaii this week, that aloha literally means the presence in me welcomes the breath. Aloha.
Oh.
Right? So when you greet somebody with aloha, you're recognizing the very vital essence of their livingness, which is the breath. Isn't that lovely?
It is.
Yeah. I want to say welcome to anyone. If you're joining us for the first time today, we have a little gift to give you. And if you'd like to, if you feel comfortable identifying yourself as someone who's here with us for the first time, Judy and Carol have a gift for you. So I want to say welcome to you. If you want to raise your hands, you can do that. It is a little bit of information about who we are, and it's also 10% off in the bookstore. So there you are. I want to say welcome to anyone who's joining us online for the first time today, and anyone who is joining us online just in general today as well. We come together in the name of love. That's how we started the day. Love being that infinite creative resource, the only thing that is going on. Spirit, love, light, life, peace, power, beauty, and joy. This is what we celebrate here today. And I have deepened this week in my experience in Hawaii, and I'm going to tell you all about that. But before I do that, I'm going to honor the woman who is going to be sharing with you today her bit of wisdom. And she is one of the 9 students who are in line to become practitioners with this center, and has been studying specifically with me for the last 2 years, almost 2 full years, in service to becoming a practitioner, not just for this community, but in her own life. And so here, with her beautiful wisdom, please welcome Carmen Noseworthy.
Thank you. I have no puppets today. I know, sorry. Jonathan's working on concepts here for the next little while, so the concept today is this. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. So I said, okay, what does this mean to me? And for me, this is all about love. We come together in the name of love. And I'm not talking about emotional love. I'm not talking about what it feels like and what you experience when I say, Susan, I love you. Or when I talk about how much I love my cats. Or when I say, I love Chris Hemsworth. Not that kind of love, but if you're watching, call me. I'm talking about the vibrational energy of the power of creation, of life itself, that love. The definition that we give love in this philosophy is the self-givingness of spirit to itself for the purpose of creation, which is basically what that concept is saying. The purpose of creation for me is to experience. And experience is imperative to consciousness. And consciousness is what gives us the ability to experience. So everything is energy. Everything is God. Everything is backed by love. Not emotional love, vibrational love. It is the power back of all things. It is the feeling and experience of appreciation, thankfulness, gratitude, and it is the peace and the grace it is the feeling and experience of appreciation, thankfulness, gratitude, and it is the peace and the grace we experience within the gratitude. It's unconditional. This power accepts its creation without question. And since we are partners with it, for everything is the body of God, we are a part of it, and we are given the ability to give back to God, to give back to this power of life, to give this power of creation an intention and a purpose to create more. So when we are given the ability to create experiences, And what we give back to that power of love is accepted without question. We are always accepted without question by the very essence of our being. The issue is that sometimes we forget. We are God's body and creation for experiencing our greatness. God only knows itself, and it is in constant creation for the purpose of experience in order to know itself. It's up to us to know what our birthright of capability is as our part of the body of God. So we can give back and be conscious partners with God, with love, with life. So my affirmation this morning, which I will say, and I will invite you to repeat it with me twice. I am a glorious part of God's body. I am a glorious part of God's body. I am a glorious part of God's body. Namaste. Aloha.
I am a glorious part. I am a glorious part of God's body. Take that in. Recognize the power in that statement. Allow it to fill your soul. It's very interesting. This song has been on my mind all week long, the whole time I was in Hawaii. And they didn't know that, and they put it in the list for this week. It was perfect. I am a glorious part of God's body. Breathe. All is well, and I am grateful. All is well, and now it's time to let it go. All is well, and I am grateful. Life is good, and so it is. All is well, and I am grateful. All is well, and now it's time to let it go. All is well, and I am grateful. Life is good, and so it is. So I invite you to relax right where you are and allow yourself to be receptive to these words being spoken by Carmen in affirmative prayer.
Life is good, and so it is. For there is only life. There is only one life. It is God's life. It is perfect, it is whole, and it is complete. It is beauty, it is joy, and it is love. This is the essence of life, of God. This is what it is, and life is good. And each and every one of us is a part of this life, for we are created from it. Yes, we are created from it. And we are a part of the expression of this life. And from this knowing, and from this allowing, and from this understanding, I trust and know that each and every one of us can simply just let this be so and be our experience and be our life. And allow this goodness and greatness of life to unfold in our own experiences, full of beauty, full of joy, full of life, abundance, wisdom, grace, the flow of life, the grace of God. For life is good, and we are good. And from this understanding, I fill myself with appreciation and thankfulness that, wow, this is who and what we are. And it's amazing and it's fantastic. And this is what I allow to be so. This is what I trust and know that everyone here and everyone watching can allow their life to be. These are the words that are right now, right here, impressed upon the law of mind that only says yes, that only knows how to do, and it's already working, and it is done now. I let this be so, and together we say, and so it is now.
All is well, and I am grateful. All is well, and now it's time to let it go. All is well, and I am grateful. Life is good, and so it is. Life is good, and so it is.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carmen. I'm feeling more reflective today in a lot of ways. And again, a lot of that is because of the experience I've just come from. And a lot, it's an interesting morning. People come up and say, well, how was your vacation? And it really was not a vacation. It was a sacred journey. It was an experience of going deeper. And, even though, yes, there were pictures of me drinking Mai Tais, and there were pictures of the beach. That was part of it. The majority of my time spent there was about going deeper. And the experiences that you don't see on Facebook were really what the trip was all about for me. And coming to a place of understanding around the idea of peace in my own life. And so I'm grateful to Pierre and the Queen Street Band for this next song being the song that they've chosen for the day. This is a song I grew up with, and it's a song that is always I've held very near and dear to my heart my entire life. So please welcome Pierre Gautreau and the Queen Street Band.
Now I've been happy lately, thinking about the good things to come. And I believe it could be something good has begun. Oh, I've been smiling lately, dreaming about the world as one. And I believe it could be someday it's gonna come. 'Cause out on the edge of darkness there rides a peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, come take me home again. Now I've been smiling lately, thinking about the good things to come. And I believe it could be something good has begun. Oh, peace train sounding louder, ride on the peace train. Ooh-ah-ee-ah, ooh-ah. Come on, peace train. Yes, peace train, holy roller. Everyone jump on the peace train. Ooh-ah-ee-ah, ooh-ah. Come on, peace train. Get your bags together. Come bring your good friends too. 'Cause it's getting nearer. Soon it will be with you. Now come and join the living. It's not so far from you. And it's getting nearer. Soon it will all be true. Oh, peace train sounding louder. Ride on the peace train. Ooh-ah. thinking about the world as it is. Why must we go on hating? Why can't we live in bliss? 'Cause out on the edge of darkness, there rides a peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, can take me home again. Oh, peace train, sounding louder, ride on the peace train. Ooh-ah-ee-ah, ooh-ah. Come on, peace train. Yes, peace train, holy roller. Everyone jump on the peace train. Ooh-ah-ee-ah, ooh-ah. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, peace train. Yes, it's the peace train. Ooh-ah-ee-ah, ooh-ah. This is the peace train.
Pierre Gautreau, Queen Street Band. Aloha awakea. Good morning to my ohana. Ohana is the Hawaiian word for family. And it's not just your literal family. We create ohana in the very experience of being here together. And that's what I wanted to lead off today with, is the understanding that this is my ohana. For me, this is the most important group. You are the most important group in my life. Whether you're here for the first time, you are the most important person in my life by being here, by allowing your presence to be known, by stepping up and saying, I believe in something. I choose to live in a deeper experience of life through a principle that knows only one thing, and that is love. Because that's what we stand for here. We stand for love. Today, I am speaking on, it's a continuing exploration of the Declaration of Principles, which were written by Ernest Holmes in 1927. And we're at the third week of what will ultimately be 15 weeks. This week is based on, as Carmen already read, the manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. I'll tell you what, it's easy to see God in its fullest expression in Kauai. And I went to Kauai last year, and it was a very different experience for me this year than it was last year. Last year was a celebration. My friends, Reverend Rita and Reverend Patrick, were installed as the ministers for the Center for Spiritual Living Kauai last year. And they had set an intention that by this year, they would have 100 registered members of their center, and as a result, well, you need 50 to have a charter and become a full church, a full center. Otherwise, you're a teaching chapter or a study group or something like that. Anyway, they had their 50 by last January, and this January they reached 101 members. So last year was a celebration. This year was about going deeper. This year was a sacred journey. It was a celebration of their charter, absolutely, but it was about, they really set this year up in a very profound way that was chock full of spiritual practice. I went much, much deeper this year than I went last year. My journal, remember a couple weeks ago I said we're all going to start writing journals this year? I'm not going to ask who started it. My journal is absolutely chock full already because of this experience. And yes, there was fun. There was fun. Like I say, that's what showed up on Facebook. But there was depth. there was depth. I began the week the night before their celebration, their Sunday celebration last Saturday, at a meet and greet where they served poo-poos, which is it makes me laugh because it's a horrible word for appetizers, but it is the Hawaiian word for appetizers. You eat poo-poos, and yes, it's poo-poos. Because we have such a different context, you know? But we started off the week with poo-poos and a meet and greet. And part of that experience was an allowing of the sacred journeyers. There were 13 of us who had registered to come on this trip and chose to step up into this sacred journey. They honored us with a very special ceremony, and they called it crossing the threshold, where basically what we did is we presented ourselves in front of their entire community. We rang a Tibetan bowl, and we announced what our intention was for the week. My intention that I announced was that I was allowing a deepening awareness and embodiment of forward momentum and evolution for my life and for the life of this center. That this is what I was really focused on through the week, a deepening awareness and embodiment of a forward momentum and evolution for my life and for the life of this center. And so I was welcomed into the Kauai Ohana through this experience as I rang the bell, stated my intention, and then walked through. They were lined up on either side, and at the end of the line, we received a kukui lei. The kukui nut is a symbol of light in Hawaii. And the reason is because each one of these grow on trees, you know, they used to use these as lamps. What they would do is they would bore a hole and then use another part of the nut, and they would put there was like a little wick, and then they would light it, and that's how they would get light. And so the idea that one of the attributes of God is light, I took that to heart in allowing this to be a representation of my journey this week, that it was filled with light, it was filled with God. And so I wore it all week long. All week long. And one of the things that I'm grateful for as well is that the journey of deepening has not stopped. But the answers are still coming. The answers are still coming, and this is a great idea in the overall aspect of living life. The answers are always coming. The question is, are we open to them? Are we open to them? Or do we get so caught up in the world of form that we stop listening for the answer? So the answers are still coming. There was another interesting aspect of this week, being a week of sacred journey, because it was also the anniversary of my sacred journey with my friend Alex that was very well documented on Facebook through many, many videos of coming to Toronto 3 years ago. And it kept popping up on my Facebook feed. It's like, hey, look what you were doing 3 years ago. So it seems to me that this equivalent week every year is going to be about what is the sacred journey that we're on. What is the sacred journey I am on? And how do we journey together as ohana, as family? One of the fundamental aspects of what we teach is this idea of principle is not bound by precedent. Principle is not bound by precedent. This came to the forefront of my thinking as well in looking at what had been in my journey to come to Toronto. I came bright-eyed, very excited, young. So young. And as I've watched some of these videos that have been surfacing on Facebook, I think to myself, where have I come? How have I changed? And the idea that principle not being bound by precedent, that is, nothing that has ever happened in our past has any bearing on who we are in this moment unless we allow it. I then step back and say, what am I willing to allow? What am I willing to allow? And this is what I've decided I am willing to allow. More lightness, more fun. One of the things that we've put on these cards that, we sent 20,000 of these cards out in a mail drop just to say, hey, here we are. One of the things we wrote on here is we are serious about spiritual practice and playful about pretty much everything else. And that is important for me. This was a week of a great balance of that. Very serious spiritual practice, but so playful. And if we're not having fun, then what are we doing? I don't want to be the guy who goes and sits on a mountaintop and says, I am very spiritual. Wait, I'm supposed to be spiritual now. No, I choose to have fun in my life. And this is a lesson that was reiterated on one day when we went to the Hindu monastery. There is a Hindu monastery on the island of Kauai. And I mentioned it last year. We went last year as well. And I talked a little bit about the aspect of going in and sitting in meditation in their temple. And the funny thing is, I didn't even go in the temple this year. But it was a very different experience for me. One of the things, we went on the tour, one of the things that the tour guide said is that this is a very strict temple. And then you think, oh my gosh, it's a very strict temple. So, and they're clear, like when you come, like you don't wear shorts. I read this later. I did wear a t-shirt, and then they said no tank tops. They didn't say no t-shirts. I wore a t-shirt, and then I read on their website they prefer you not to wear t-shirts, and then I felt bad. Oh well, it's over. It's in the past. Has no precedent on my perfect experience of the now. They said, this is a very strict temple, but laughter and lightness are very important to us. And a lot of times I think we think the idea of strictness in spiritual practice does not really correspond with laughter and lightness, and yet here we are in a space where we can say, yes, absolutely, it does. We don't have to be strict and have everything be just a downer. No, laughter and lightness is part of the spiritual experience, and so we can be strict in our embodiment of laughter and lightness. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. As God knows itself by means of each and every one of us, the inevitable outcome is whatever we bring to mind. And so, in this spiritual practice, bring to mind laughter and lightness, and this is what we experience. That is spiritual practice. That is the expression of the infinite self-knowingness of God through each and every one of us. And this is how the entire universe has come into being. This is how this room came into being. This is how the fake candles came into being. This is how it all came into being, was from an idea that was born first and foremost in the mind, the universal mind of a divine power that is unstoppable, and that divine power is one of only one thing, one creative energy, and that is love. And I love what you said this morning, Carmen, because we confuse the idea of love. Love is, it is inclusive of romantic love and love between friends and love of family and love of community, but it is so much more than that. It is beyond anything that we can actually put into words effectively. It cannot be expressed effectively through words. It is a feeling. And this is the point where I am deepening in my practice. I have gone from the idea 3 years ago coming here with the message of saying, change your thinking, change your life. It has moved to change your belief, change your life. And now it has settled into change your feeling, change your life. Because feeling is the thing that really shifts all of it. Feeling is the core of belief. Expresses itself in our thought and in our word. The manifest universe is the body of God. And this means all, the entire universe, not just some of it, the entire universe. I invite you to take that into consideration for a moment. The deeper meaning of the entire universe being the manifest body of the divine principle. From this understanding, what can you now take into your heart in order to move forward in a constructive way with life, as life? It's allowing that which has been to dissipate and only approaching life and allowing love to be the creative source. What can we take into our hearts in order to move forward with our lives? For me, today, and part of this week was coming to this idea, deeper forgiveness. Deeper forgiveness. I had a very interesting experience. So Saturday we had the poo-poos and the appetizers, the poo-poos and the meet and greet, and then Sunday we had our celebration of the charter installation. And then Sunday afternoon, it was wonderful. There was an experience of not just whale watching, but a welcoming of the whales, because they have migrated south, and so the whales are all out there. And you can stand on the beach, and you can watch the whales playing out in the water. It's amazing. And you see them breaching, and you see a lot of spouts, and they're out there. So that was a very sacred experience as well. And then on Monday, we had an island tour, which they called the mystical tour of the island of Kauai. And the very first place that we went to, and this actually ended up being a perfect experience in that every single morning for every activity, we went to the same place to meet as a collective group, the 13 of us who were on the sacred journey together. And it's at a heiau, which is a sacred space. It was basically an ancient building made out of lava rock, and it's very sacred to the Hawaiians. And you are not allowed to go inside it. You can go around it. But there's, on the north end of the heiau, is what they call the forgiveness stone. And we were all welcomed to go up to the forgiveness stone, and what you do is, it's a large, it stands about that high, and it's a huge stone, and what you do is you go put your hands on it, and you put your forehead there. And in the act of forgiveness and allowing forgiveness to fill my heart, I had this experience of getting there and realizing that I had a lot that was weighing on my heart because I could not lift my head off the stone. I went there, I put my head on the stone, and I literally could not lift my head off the stone. And so I had to deepen into love. I allowed love into my heart. I allowed it from a place of deeper contemplation. And that's when I was able to step back and say, the journey for me in that moment was really the beginning of the journey. That's the point at which I said, this is a much more profound week for me than perhaps anything I've ever experienced. At the Hindu monastery, we met with one of the swamis, Kaivalyanatha Swami. Amazing opportunity. This is a blessing and an honor to be able to meet with the swamis, because they don't just do this. It was a wonderful chance to sit in the presence of someone who, he must have been in his 70s, and you are not allowed to become a monk in this monastery after the age of 25. So he has been living as a monk in this monastery. You do the math. And he asked a great question. He asked a great question that allowed us all to, again, go deeper. And it was this: what is the difference between concentration and contemplation? What is the difference between concentration and contemplation? And the answer for me has shifted my spiritual practice, especially in meditation, because I fear too frequently we talk about go into a contemplation in your meditation, and we may just be concentrating in our meditation. And here's the difference for me. Concentration is a focused awareness on that which is outside the self. Contemplation is a focused awareness on that which is within. And for me, more and more, this week was a deepening of contemplation. Contemplation of forgiveness. The deeper meaning of the essence of that which we see. There's a deeper thing behind it all. What the Hawaiians call ko'ana. The hidden meaning behind the thing itself. That which we see with our eyes is so much deeper than what we see with our eyes. The essence of the thing is the logical and necessary outcome of the self-knowingness of God. That's the essence of the thing. The essence of the thing is that which is God's perfect expression, showing up in form. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. We can never deplete that which is the essence of our being. We can never deplete it. And yet, do you sometimes feel depleted? I do. We feel depleted of energy. We feel depleted of, in various areas of our life. Here today, take on this idea. We can never be depleted of anything because everything comes from the essence of our being. Another thing the Swami said is this: we live in fullness and we take from the fullness and still it is full. The divine essence can never be removed from the experience of life, ever. Sometimes we try very hard to do that. And in doing that, what we're doing is we are trying to argue for our limitations. We're trying to argue for our limitations. It was very funny because the Swami is expressing all of this and talking about, our descent. There's a mythology with this particular order where there's a descent and then climbing back up the ladder, and it's the experience of life. And one of our sacred journeyers asked this question: well, what happens when you slip back? And the Swami very politely and very without any judgment just said, why would you want to do that? It's a great, you know what? We should all be so wise. Why would you want to do that? Once you know, you can't not know. None of us should ever slip back. Why would you want to do that? The divine essence is always coming into being, no matter what. We can never actually slip back. On Friday, we took our walk to a place called the Stone Dam. It was a time of contemplation, a reflection on the journey we'd been on throughout the week. And a tree was pointed out, this particular tree. It had fallen. It had experienced at some point in its experience of life a major catastrophe. But it proceeded to redefine itself. It was a lovely experience and a lovely metaphor for this entire thing of life. From its fallen trunk, 7 new trees were growing. Each and every one of us is like that tree. We can never be depleted of the fullness of God. And I think we should all consider this throughout the week. Where do we think we have been depleted? And ask yourself this idea: is this true? Am I truly depleted in this? Where do we think we have been depleted? And ask, is this true? Because I guarantee you the answer is no. We can never be depleted. I believe we find the answer in an understanding of the one thing God cannot do. There is one thing God cannot do. God cannot remove himself from you and me. Namaste. I'm going to invite Tony, totally unexpectedly, because I'm having one of those moments again. If you understand my meaning, would you lead this section of the service, and I'll be back to sing.
Absolutely. Hi, how are you? Aloha. I know aloha and the rest is Pig Latin, so I hey our whatever. Anyways, that was good. Take a breath. That was wonderful. We have now come to the point in our service where we keep things flowing. We let the energy flow, and specifically, we give back to the center of what it gives to us. I personally just left my little card over there. Have my I step up, I choose to step up card. Take whatever you have or whatever you're giving or whatever is a symbol of what you want to keep giving to this center so that it feeds through this center to the community around us. What was the word for family?
Ahana?
Ahana?
Ohana.
Ohana? I'll go with community because I don't want to mess it up. I want to have respect for the Hawaiian language. But take that and bless it and know that what this is love continuing to grow. It's more. It's for each bit of energy, and money is energy that we put out there. 7 more trees are growing from that. And what you give us, the board of trustees and the people here take to not only make this center better, but make this community better and make lives better. So, in honor of that, why don't we stand up? Let's have, what song are we doing?
I love.
I Love. And the baskets will come around, so please, sing along.
I live, I breathe, I give, I receive, I laugh, I love, I'm a part of what's here, what has been, what's still to be seen. I live, I breathe, I love, love, love. I live, I breathe, I love. I live, I breathe, I give, I receive, I laugh, I love. I'm a part of what's here, what has been, what's still to be seen. I live, I breathe, I love, love, love. I live, I breathe, I love. I live, I breathe, I love.
And I'll invite Carmen to do a blessing over the offering.
Oh, so let's take this moment and stay in this place of gratitude and giving and receiving. For giving and receiving are the same law of circulation. And so on behalf of everybody here, everybody present, and everybody online, and the Board of Trustees, and Reverend Jonathan, I say thank you. Thank you for your energy, for giving of your treasure, of your money, to allow it to flow. And I trust and know that each and every one of us is returned, because that is the way that it works. Each is returned to us tenfold. From behind the giving is a feeling of the love, the essence of life, and the creative power. And so for this, I say thank you, thank you, thank you. I allow this to be so, and together we say, and so it is now.
Thank you. We apparently are starting a new tradition in the Centers for Spiritual Living by saying, and so it is now. And I say that it's a new tradition because it's happening at CSL Kauai as well. I'm grateful to our sister center for the experience of allowing me to go on this sacred journey that I get to share with you. And in gratitude, I invite us all to relax right where we are and allow that which has touched us today, whatever it is, allow that idea to come to the forefront of our thinking right in this moment. And recognize that this idea is the point of creation. For that idea is backed by a belief and rooted in a feeling. And this is how the manifest body of the universe is born, by means of our thinking. For we are each of us a perfect individualized expression of a divine loving presence and power that is God.
So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. 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 I will share, 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 I will share this love. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love.
Right in this moment, I'd recognize and know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that there is an infinite creative power, and it is love. For there is love and nothing else. There is light and nothing else. There is life and nothing else. And this life is expressed in all things. Everything is life. And it is expressed by means of each and every one of us. Each and every one of us being the individualized expression of life, of love, of light. We are that which is. I trust and know from this place of being, from this place of understanding, that all that has occurred here today, being present right here and right now, is good and allows each and every one of us a launching point to deeper conviction and expression, to deeper contemplation, a deeper allowing of life unfolding constructively for each and every one of us. constructing in goodness and harmony, unfolding as peace. For that peace train is no longer out on the edge of darkness. It is right here, present in our hearts. And it shows up throughout the entire universe because of the point of expression by means of each and every one of us. I am so grateful for this understanding. I am so grateful for this knowledge, and I am so grateful for the deepened awareness that we all share right here and right now. I am so grateful to everyone who has made this expression a possibility. I'm grateful to Carol and Judy, our board members today. I'm grateful to Lori, who set up for us today. I'm grateful to our greeters, Jim and Lynette. I'm grateful to Nick in the bookstore. I'm grateful for Dane on the soundboard, and Ram and Tony, allowing us to be virtually experienced throughout the entire world. I am grateful to Judy for her meditation this morning. I'm grateful to Carmen for her brilliant words of wisdom. I am grateful to Pierre Gautreau, the entire Queen Street Band. And I am grateful to this Ohana. I'm grateful for your presence and the experience of life through each and every one of us. And so in gratitude, I simply allow the expression of life to unfold magnificently, for we are magnificent. I recognize this and I know this and I allow this as I release this word to the immutable law of cause and effect, and know that the word spoken is done. I let it be so, as together we say, and so it is now.
I will share, 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 I will share this love. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love, this love, this love, this love, this love.
Thank you all so very much. We're going to end the day with a song that we can take this into the world as we breathe the same air. I want to say thank you all for being here. If you'd like to say hello to me, I'll be standing over by the information table, and Judy will be there as well to answer any questions you may have. Have a wonderful week, everyone.
Thank you. I will.
Well, it's an idea whose time has come. A new generation decides as one. Of the same small planet we are born. It's never been so obvious before. We breathe the same air, drink the same water, walk the same earth, kiss the same sky. We breathe the same air. I think we ought to get along better, you and I. The future of history is crystal clear. The borders between us will disappear. Of the same small planet air, drink the same water, walk the same earth, kiss the same sky, we breathe the same air. I think we ought to get along better, you and I.
Some say that I'm out of touch with the times, that this world is no place for a vision like mine. Well, still I can see it, and still I believe it. There's too many lives on the line. There's so many lives on the line.
We breathe the same air, drink the same water, walk the same earth, kiss the same sky, we breathe the same air. And I think we ought to get along better, you and I. We breathe the same air, drink the same water, walk the same earth, kiss the same sky, we breathe the same air. And I think we ought to get along better, you and I.
Have a great week.
1, 2, 3.